Okay, cooking lesson number 2. We are going to be making a stuffed pork loin with buffalo mozzarella cheese, pancetta, and pesto. Then we're going to be making roasted potatoes, and those are going to have a little bit of feta cheese with them. I'll show you how to chop them. And that's going to be done with garlic. For our vegetable, we're going to do broccoli with tomatoes, and I'll show you how to chop those. So ingredients needed for today's meal: mozzarella, either buffalo or just shredded, pancetta or chopped up bacon that's already cooked, pesto, I just buy mine, new potatoes, feta cheese, tomatoes, broccoli, garlic, salt, pepper, and olive oil. Pretty easy. And the wine we're going to be drinking while we're cooking is the Reserve Frari Carano Chardonnay. And we'll get started. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to trim the pork loin. I already did most of it, but just in case you're not familiar with how you trim the silver skin and the fat off, take your knife, insert it right at that line, right there, kind of hold it, and you can just wiggle it back and forth like this. And that way you pull that off. The silver skin is tough, so the reason to take that off is that it's not so tough. The fat helps cook it and gives flavor to the pork, but we're just going to do that for ease today. So we're going to do that. Then take your pork loin, cut it 2/3 of the way up, and cut it over like that. Flip it around. And then turn it around. You kind of see where it's at, and then you can cut it a little bit under right here. And what we're doing is we're kind of making a pocket for the pancetta and mozzarella. So we're going to take pancetta, gonna put it all in there, line it with fresh mozzarella. Just use as much as you want, and then I'm going to put a little bit of pesto in there for flavor. Dan doesn't like it when I use herbs and stuff because he thinks it's gross. So that's why I'm using pestos, because then he won't think there's any funny herbs or anything in there. Then we're going to season it with pepper. And I'm not going to use salt because pancetta is really, really salty, so we don't really need to use any of that. And then just fold it over, tuck it in, fold it over, and you got yourself a little pork burrito. So take it. I have toothpicks right here. Just stab it. You're going to take the toothpicks out, so it doesn't really matter if it looks good or not, because you won't need it to. And then at the very ends, here, just kind of tuck it, and then stab it over. So you kind of make them like a little roll with it. Take it, and stab it over. Some of the stuff will leak out. That's fine. No one ever got hurt from that. So there we go, and we'll move on to searing it. So we're going to go over here to the stove and get it right. And the stove's already on, so just going to turn it up. I use a combination of olive oil and grapeseed oil because then it helps cook it and get hot a little quicker. Pause. Alright, so the oil is ready. I'm going to take our pork, I salt and peppered it, and just set it on in there. And we're going to let it sear on both sides, and then we'll do our topping. Okay, so the pork is done searing. What we're doing for the top is roasted garlic. So what you do is you take your roasted garlic bowl, cut the top of it where you can see the bowl is exposed, wrap it in foil, put it with some olive oil, and put it in an oven at 400 for about 20 to 30 minutes. So you see them getting a little brown like this. And then after they cool off, you literally just squeeze and pop. And they'll pop right on out. And then you just take the bowl and you squish it. And you mush it in. And that's all that's going to be in there. I put the oil that was from the foil in here and a little bit of pepper. And very simple. I'm just going to put this on the fork real quick. And just so you see what that looks like is it's got the roasted garlic on top of it. It's all seared and golden brown, lots of juices in, and now we're going to put it in the oven. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make the potatoes. So I bought a bag of new potatoes. I already chopped all of them in half, but just to show you, just take the potato, walk it in half. And then I line my pan with oil and spray with Pam so it doesn't stick. You just take your oil, drizzle your potatoes. Helps if I actually have a spoon to toss it with. And I'm going to put this with, this is a smoked sea salt. Pretty cool, you can get it at like Lawrence and Sonoma. But it's very pungent, so you don't need a lot of it. Like that. And then feta. Take it, kind of break it in your hands, crumble it like that. Because otherwise you get big chunks. As you all know, because you know me, you're my family, we use a lot of cheese. Because cheese rocks. And then just toss your potatoes. And put a little bit more oil. Just so they stay fine. I'm going to do a little bit of cracked pepper in here too. That's what I was saying is tonight's meal is very, very simple. Because it's Sunday and that's what we have to do. So if you don't have sea salt, things that are kind of fun that you can use, or the smoked sea salt, is you can use truffle salt, lavender salt, or even any of like the flavored green salts you can get at the store. We use a lot of French green salt here. I don't think Dan knows that because it's French, he'd freak out or something. But we just do that because it's got a neat flavor. All the salts just come from where they were and they're harvested. They're pretty much just raw. And we have cool flavor. So here's our little potatoes. We're going to pop those in the oven and start on the broccoli.